In today's thrift store challenge, we are headed off to Target and peruse through the Hearth and Hand line as well as the Magnolia website to get some much needed inspiration, and then we are headed off to the thrift store to see what we can come up with for a whole lot less. With that being said, let's go ahead and get started. One of my favorite decor categories that Hearth and Hand and Magnolia do extremely well are their tapered candle holders. I loved this set, and at first I thought it was just all of them for $32, and then I realized that that was just the price for one of them. So $90 for 3 candle holders is pretty steep. So I went to the thrift store, ended up finding this set of 3 tea light candle holders as well as these tapered candle holder tops, which I've never seen at a thrift store before. So I grabbed the bag, and my hope was that I would be able to put one of the tapered candle holders inside of the tea light candle holders, and sure enough, it worked out really well. I didn't end up attaching them permanently inside or gluing them down, just in case I did want them to be tea light candle holders at some point later on. So I could have left them like this. If we were doing a West Elm Dupes video, this would be perfect for that. But we wanted to make it more Magnolia inspired, and those candle holders that I showed you guys earlier had a lot of distressing on them. So I took some gel stain and I just dabbed it on with a paper towel, and this is how they turned out. So for just about $7, I think I have a really similar look on a budget. I really believe that my love for thrifting began when I would watch Fixer Upper with my mom, and we would watch Joanna Gaines just take these really kind of old and rustic pieces and repurpose them and give them a new life. And that was always like my favorite thing to watch her do. So if you have a farmhouse or cottagecore design aesthetic, one thing you might want to try incorporating in your space are peg rails. So I found this peg rail for just over $1. Now I know I can go to Walmart and find something really similar that doesn't require citrus strip or sanding or staining or any of that, but there's something about taking something that was previously loved and then donated and just making it feel like yours in your space. I've talked to you guys about this before. Whenever I buy wooden pieces of decor from the thrift store, they usually have a kind of red or orange undertone, which as you can see, just doesn't really go with the floors that I have. So I took some citrus strip, I wrapped it all around this piece, and then I took some 220 grit sandpaper and I sanded that all off just so I had that nice raw wood that I was working with. It was still pulling a little yellow though, so I went in my stash and I grabbed this Tinsmith gray semi-transparent stain, and I just applied it using a paper towel and then just wiped off the excess. For the styling, I wanted to incorporate a hanging basket, and then I found this scarf for 50% off, so it was just about $1.50. So I think for under $10, I was able to create something to place on my walls that isn't necessarily artwork, but is still really beautiful to look at. One of the most common comments I get from you guys is the thrift stores are just so expensive where you live. And I have that too. Whenever I go up to Cleveland, I always have like a little bit of sticker shock because, for example, this wall shelf at the first Goodwill was $15, but then I went to another Goodwill 10 minutes down the road. It was a purple tag day. I found the exact same shelf for 50% off, which made this shelf only $5. As I've mentioned to you guys in other videos, I can't keep everything, and I could resell this, but I figured if there's someone out there that wants this piece, I will gladly send it to you. You could even make it more functional like Magnolia did and add this bar with some S hooks on there. But yeah, if there's any of you guys who are interested in it, just comment wall shelf in the comment section down below. In order to achieve that Hearth and Hand or Magnolia look, when it comes to textiles, I would say you need to start incorporating a lot of navy and navy striped things in your space. She does it with a few other colors as well, but navy is definitely, I would say, the primary color that is not a neutral in the decor of the Hearth and Hand line specifically. So when you're at the thrift store, that's something you definitely would like to keep your eyes out for. So while at Goodwill, I found this cream and navy table runner, and it was 72 inches across, which is great for my table. So I decided to pick it up. It's just something really simple. If your space is lacking and you feel like it's just falling a bit flat, try incorporating a patterned runner, and something simple like this isn't so overwhelming that it's going to distract you, but it's nice to incorporate in your space. If you have Joanna Gaines inspired style, one thing you should try incorporating in your space are vintage inspired glassware pieces. And this works out really well because there is very few times I can say I've gone to the thrift store and not seen any glassware that I would have picked up. So for example, I found this glass juicer for just $2, and I think it's perfect for the summer where I'm using a lot of citrus. So this is just one of those things that's nice to keep out on the counter. It looks chic and pretty, but let's not forget about our functional pieces. Again, this was a purple tag. So here's the deal. Whenever you see boxes like this, before you just put them in your cart, make sure you're opening them and just do a little check just to make sure that you are buying what you think you're buying. So I already knew when I bought this that 4 of the pieces were missing, but it was also only $2.50 because it was 50% off. So for that price, I think that's a very good price for 8 pieces of glassware total, 4 tall and 4 short glasses. And it's finds like these that if you're just starting out or maybe you're starting over, that can really save you a lot of money if you try the thrift store first. Another element you'll see of a lot in the Hearth and Hand line is black metal. So whenever you're out thrifting, that's kind of the stuff you want to look for: little black wire baskets, black metal canisters, black metal frames, and those sorts of things will kind of get you closer to that look that you'll see of a lot throughout the Hearth and Hand line. I really liked these black metal picture frames. They were originally from Home Goods, but I really liked this sort of crank feature on the back. It made it feel kind of industrial. And then I literally just took a page out of her book and I cut it down to the appropriate size, inserted it in this frame, and I think this little piece of decor makes such a statement, but was so budget friendly. As I mentioned earlier, Joanna Gaines will take something that was not necessarily wall art and turn it into wall art. So when you're looking through the Magnolia website, you'll see a lot of landscapes, sketches, clocks, and those kind of typical things of a farmhouse wall decor aesthetic. One tip I have when you're out thrifting is consider the price and the scale of something. So for example, this small sketch was just under $6. Then I found this huge pin board that looked like it was never used. Again, a purple tag day. So it was just $4.50. And this specific piece I think was not only cheaper, but is going to give you a lot more longevity in terms of how long someone is going to be able to use a piece like this. Because pin boards can be ever changing depending on what you put on there. And especially in kid spaces, they're always bringing home different metals and different ribbons and things like that. And you can incorporate so many different elements on these to make them feel really special to the person who has it in their space. And another thing you should try incorporating just to add some texture to your walls is incorporating wall baskets. So I found a few of them on the Magnolia site, and then when I was at the thrift store, I came across this one that was just under $4. Now I wasn't crazy about this black label on the front. I think it was like a DIY chalkboard label. So I just decided to remove it because I just want to place my magazines in here whenever they come in by my entryway. The only regret I have about this is I wish I would have found 2 of them because I would have liked to have stacked them. But for now, I think that this is a nice option and a great way to save money if you're on a budget. One of the items that I think is the most fairly priced throughout the Hearth and Hand line are their wreaths. I think you can get a really beautiful wreath from this line that is going to be so much more affordable than anything you would find at Pottery Barn or even Michael's and Hobby Lobby. However, I do still think you can find really beautiful wreaths at the thrift store, and you might just have to DIY them a little bit, or sometimes you find them just great as they are. So I came across this wreath at the Goodwill for just over $5. It already had a blue ribbon attached onto it, and I did like that it just felt really full. Sometimes when you find wreaths at the thrift store, they seem like they're just kind of lacking a little bit. The only small thing I contemplated doing to this wreath was just adding some citrus picks for the summertime, but otherwise I think this is a great wreath if you're on a budget. So now let's talk about some of the linen bedding you'll find through the Hearth and Hand line. So again, we're seeing that navy, that blue throughout the entire store, but especially in the bedding area. When it comes to styling pillows on your bed, a common theme you'll see is just taking one long lumbar, and that's really the only decorative pillow. And you can find that one at Hearth and Hand for $34.99. Then I found this one at the Goodwill for just over $5. So I decided that I was gonna take it home. When I brought it home though, I realized that it had a few oil stains. So usually I probably would have passed on this piece in the past, but I decided I was going to try this little trick. So you just take some baking soda and some Dawn dish soap, Mix that together till you basically get like a toothpaste-like consistency. And we're just going to apply this paste on our problem areas. So I just did so using my finger. I didn't use anything fancy. And I just let it sit for about 30 minutes. And then I came in with my steamer and I just steamed the entire pillow really well. And it kind of just came right out. I've thrown away so many good pieces of clothing because I couldn't get oil stains out, so going forward, I'm definitely going to use this trick. While I do think the wreaths from the Hearth & Hand line are a good buy, I do not think that the potted faux florals are the best. So I would recommend just going to your thrift store and just combining a couple things. So I found this faux potted plant for just $1.50. Now the pot was really basic, but the eucalyptus looked really nice, I thought. So I just decided to repot it. So I found this navy gray color pot and I thought this would be perfect. Again, that navy color we're incorporating in our space, and I think it looks great styled on my shelves in my office. Now, I obviously know that Christmas is many months away, and if you're not interested in hearing anything about Christmas, just go ahead and click out of this video. But there are a few pieces that I found recently that I wanted to share. So I found this set of 4 Hearth & Hand ornaments for just $3, and this is definitely the direction I want to go in for Christmas this year, just kind of more modern and rustic versus traditional like I've done in previous years. I also found this really beautiful high quality wreath for just over $3. I might switch out the ribbon, but for now I'm going to leave it. I also found this small tree, which will be great for shelf styling, and this was also just $3. Another piece of decor that I found was this woven bell. I plan on adding like a pretty ribbon onto it and attaching it to one of my doors. I also found this really beautiful cookie jar for just $5. And then last but not least, I found this reindeer pillow for just over $4. So I was able to find 6 pieces of Christmas decor for under $20. And obviously I'm not going to put any of these things out right now. So what I do is I just place it in a box. I label it Christmas 2023. And that way I have an idea when I'm out thrifting what I need to look for. And that about wraps it up for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know down in the comments which project or find was your favorite and any other stores you would like to see this style of a video to. And I will see you guys next Sunday. Bye for now.